Oh, hi, this is part 2. 5 seconds later.
We didn't go anywhere. Jacob just moved his hand.
You dropped popcorn. Prove it. I vacuumed this carpet today.
Thank you, Allen Cinemas. Established in 1912. 1912? Were there even talking movies back then? Hi, I'm Joseph.
Oh, hi, I'm Jacob. Man, were there talking movies in 1912?
I'm sure there were.
Talkies? It was like 20s, right? It was the 20s? They might have had like the organ up front and they're like playing the music.
I'd go to that.
Yeah.
I'd pay money to see that.
All right. So, if you thought the first video was long, part 1, this one's going to be long because now we're going to really talk about it. So,
we're really going to get
okay, first let me, okay. This video will have spoilers.
Spoiler
if you
alert.
haven't seen Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, don't watch this video. I don't want to ruin this for you.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen our other video, go back to our non-spoiler review. Then go watch the movie, then come back and watch this one. Because we want to hear from you guys. We want to know what you think. That's really the whole point of this one. I want to see what other people think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We want to start a conversation. So this is part 2.
Part 2.
If you've seen it, please. If not, don't watch this.
Alright, so it's worth saying, I have been on like an internet fast for like the past 2 days. Today's the 15th. The movie technically came out today. I mean, there were showings yesterday, but I'm still not really sure how that works. But anyway,
You don't look sick, by the way. Good job.
Oh, I feel really sick. I feel like I'm about to die.
I just realized I should be careful next to you.
So, but I've been on an internet fast ever since this movie came out. I have stayed away from everybody. I haven't talked to any of my friends. I mean, I've talked to Jacob a little bit, but I know that he's kind of doing the same. I like going into movies cold, right? I don't like anybody...
Especially this.
Yeah, especially this. This is something... I don't remember a time in my life without Star Wars, right?
I don't either.
I have been watching these movies since I was a toddler. And my dad was a huge fan, so we watched them all the time.
We were born in '84, so I mean,
yeah, we're children
the
of the
whole
80s.
classic trilogy was
Yeah.
out by the time we were born.
Wait, when did Jedi come out?
Is it 3?
I think it's 86.
No, I know you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong.
I know you're wrong.
I mean, you might be right.
It didn't take 9 years for all 3 movies to come out. This is the part where we wait for Joseph to be wrong.
Just want to see. Let's see.
We were also fighting over when Empire came out.
1983. He was right.
When was Empire?
Empire was...
You were saying 82 earlier, right?
Yeah.
But it's
1980.
80.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. So let's go through it.
We didn't make any notes for
Well,
spoilers.
I knew this was going to be on the behind me. I didn't want. I don't know. You it's overexposed. You can't see it anyway. All right. Let's start with the very beginning. Okay. Let's start with the biggest spoiler of all. I don't know that I believe it.
What? Believe what?
They say who Rey's parents are.
Okay.
I don't know that I believe it.
That was my favorite thing. I wanted that to be the answer so bad. So bad.
But.
No.
But.
Is it true?
Based on the ending. Based on the ending. I think. Okay. I'm gonna skip to the very ending. The very ending. There's these kids that you run into for a little bit on this like planet.
A casino planet?
Casino
For
planet
rich
that
people?
has like, you know,
Horse racing and betting?
and like, you know,
they're not
indentured
horses.
children.
Yeah.
Right?
Which
And
is
one of these
cool.
kids at the very end, right? Because the very end of Empire is
Uh-huh.
like, you know, we're on the medical ship, and we're looking out. Luke's got his metal hand, and he's like, "There's hope." Right? Right? You know, it's like we're looking off into space. Okay, so
Working backwards through our review.
this is similar. I'm sorry, I had to get to it. This is kind of similar, except you see one of these boys that we met earlier. You know, Rose gave him this like rebel ring.
A ring.
That's got the rebel secret symbol, whatever. And he kind of holds out his hand, and you know he picks up this broom, without picking it up, if you know what I mean. Uses the Force. And he's obviously very comfortable with this. This small little bit. He's like, poof. And then he sweeps a little bit, and then he looks up and he holds it, and you could tell it's clearly supposed to look like a lightsaber.
You catch the light glinting off
Right.
of it. It's supposed to look like a lightsaber.
And he's just looking up into the stars, and you can see that there's hope. This normal nobody who's not a Skywalker in the middle of Nowheresville, that's not a desert, and this kid has the Force. So if Rey's parents really are nobodies and she has the Force, that lines up. The point is, I mean, we established this in episode 1. Not every person who's Force sensitive is a Skywalker, right? Not everybody's a Skywalker. You don't have to be a Skywalker to be Force sensitive,
right?
And they definitely pushed that in episode 7, and by the end of 8, you know, I mean, we're seeing Leia gets to use a little bit of Force,
right?
Luke does a couple new things. Obviously, there's Kylo Ren. We get to see Snoke. There's Rey. And this little boy. So it's like, all right, are we going to try and figure out who his parents are too? Or are we going to go, you know what? Not everybody's related. Because how else could they fill the Jedi Temple with Padawans?
Yeah.
Episode 1.
But no, I was really excited when that was the answer. Because that's what I wanted the answer to be. That's deep down in my heart. I wanted her to not be related to them. I wanted her parents to be nobodies. That's what I wanted, and I'm really glad they delivered on it. And it was probably the biggest payoff for me. It made me legitimately giddy and happy.
So, are you going to be disappointed if it turns out that he was lying to her?
Well, maybe. No, I won't be disappointed. Because, I don't know, disappointed is a strong word. I don't think it would disappoint me to find out that he was lying to her. But the funny thing, because he asks her, you know, has she always known?
Right.
You know.
Her parents are nobodies.
Yeah.
And he says he knows where they're buried, basically.
So, that was interesting.
That they died on the planet.
What do we know about her? We know that she got left with the fat guy.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Who is the fat guy? Remind me?
Simon Pegg.
Yes.
Scotty.
And he was in the suit too, right?
Yeah, no,
he was in the suit.
He's in the suit and he voices the character.
And he's in Mission Impossible.
Yeah. He and JJ are like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I like him.
Yeah. But yeah. Simon Pegg? Yeah, no.
Yeah, Simon Pegg. That's right.
Sometimes I get him confused with Nick Frost. I know he's not Nick Frost. Nick Frost is the bearded guy.
Okay, so we're bouncing around.
Right.
But I think this was the important thing to start with. If this is true, then what they're doing is they're establishing anybody from Nowheresville can be it. Can be Force sensitive, can become the Last Jedi.
Okay, guys, that shouldn't sound weird, right? In the Star Wars universe? That shouldn't be a weird thing. You know, we had episode 1, 2, and 3, where we had hundreds of Jedis. You know, you don't have to be a Skywalker, you don't have to be a Kenobi.
Or a human.
Or even a human. Yeah. And so that felt good to me.
Was that the best answer?
That was the best answer that I could have hoped for.
She's not a Palpatine.
Yeah. That was the best answer that I could have hoped for. Now, one thing I did feel a little cheated on was the whole Snoke thing. Like, who is he?
Okay.
How did he become the Supreme Chancellor? Okay, he's dead now.
What? What? They killed Snoke?
This is a spoiler review.
Did you like that? I love that. It's like, all right, here's a sacred cow. It's a big bad guy.
Yes.
Above the big bad guy. Oh, he's dead.
And that's what that felt
Cut in half.
Yeah.
And it's like, no sacred cows. Anything can happen. And that's why it was like, here, JJ, here are the ashes.
It was like a big,
It
was like a big screw you to whatever it is that they had in mind. And I like that, but I still wish that he would have been developed more, that I would know more about him. Because he starts off as this big CG big baddie, right? And he actually works.
He was very big.
Yeah, he works as a CG character, I think. And that's hard to do today. Make CG characters villains work.
I think people just don't want to see Andy Serkis's real face.
Well,
Cut him.
when you can... Shoot, dude, if I could make a career doing it, I'd do it too. But anyway.
We'll see him again in 2 months.
Yeah. He's dead, right? But I wanted more backstory. I wanted more story there, because the whole time it's like, okay, we're kind of building this guy up, and then the payoff feels really weak, and then he's dead. And I thought, okay, strange way to take it. So
usually the Padawan kills the master, though, right?
Right.
Even
in Sith lore,
even Vader killed his master.
Mm-hmm. In Sith lore, but they're not necessarily Sith.
And that's the point, right?
Yeah.
He's like, let's let the world burn,
mm-hmm.
so we can build it our version.
Right.
This is the shout out to millennials. No, it's like, we're just gonna make the world our way. So like, you can just go. No, that's not a millennial thing.
We didn't
I'm not gonna
start the
say
fire. Yeah. See, that's a Gen Y thing. That's a every generation ever. I'm eating your popcorn.
Eat it. Go ahead.
But so he's dead. I really hope that we get more on him, but I don't think we're going to.
I think the only way we're getting more on Snoke, comics and novelizations.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bummer. Like, I could see him in
But
another.
it's all right. Someone's
TV
gonna write the
series.
Silmarillion for Star Wars, and we'll have all the backstory, and we'll never see it.
Yeah, because nobody will ever read it, because it's gonna be long and boring.
Yeah. Everyone will read it. By everyone, I mean nerds. And there's a lot of nerds.
What was the biggest thing that bothered you about this movie? Oh, let's just keep working backwards. Okay, Snoke's dead. They have a fight. They were friends, but now they're not friends.
I have to admit, it was super awesome to see them like back to back, them being Rey and Kylo Ren fighting. That was cool, and that was the promise and the hope of, you know, that people expected from the like twin storylines from the books, right?
Mhm.
Is like, we want to see that,
Yeah.
because we haven't seen that
Mhm.
in Star Wars yet.
Well,
Only in the novels.
there was maybe not twins, but you do get Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but not the siblings, right?
Yeah, not the siblings.
You don't get the siblings.
Yeah.
Because Leia, you know, never.
Right. I mean, she was definitely awesome.
I mean, she would fight, but she didn't grab a lightsaber
No.
and fight.
Now that I feel like that whole sequence was just total nerd payoff. Ever since I was a little kid.
Which sequence? Oh,
them
back
fighting
to back?
them fighting the Red
Yeah,
Guards,
exactly.
right? Ever since I was a little kid and I watched Return of the Jedi for the first time, I just wanted to see those guys in the red cloaks do something.
Oh.
You know?
And they just stood there.
And they just stand there, right? And then you think, okay, new trilogy, maybe they'll do something. They fall over when Yoda knocks them over. Yeah, I'm like, dang, that didn't happen. And then finally, they move a couple times, and then they pose. But all they do is pose. They don't do anything, and then they get to fight. And I was like, whoa, that was cool. I've been wanting that to happen in a Star Wars movie since I was 3 years old.
And what I loved was, you know, you expect Kylo Ren to be this like superior fighter, even though we've seen him lose before.
Yeah.
Right? And he struggled in the fight. And I was like, yes, this is good. This shows these people are talented.
Yeah.
That he doesn't just mow them over.
But that's a small gripe that I have with the film. Simply because of Rey. Okay, she has zero training still.
Training.
Luke,
yes.
Luke gives her 3 lessons, right?
Did he give her a third lesson?
I don't remember the third. No, maybe. I think the third lesson is going to be revealed in the next one when he comes back as a Force ghost. Oh, Luke's dead, by the way.
Yoda came back. Let's just say everything. I wasn't expecting Yoda to show up.
Where was Obi-Wan?
Much less to burn the place down.
Which was awesome.
He's like,
oh, and
Luke, you're having trouble.
She
As
had
a
the-
Force ghost, I'm just gonna cause lightning to burn the place down. And Luke's like, wait, I didn't want to, but we didn't start the fire.
Okay, so, but this is a huge issue that I have with it. Now, this is purely because I'm a trainer, right? I train people. I train.
Oh, I had a point. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I might get long.
I just got to interrupt and say I have a point.
Make your point.
Okay, so I was rewatching. We both rewatched separately. We both rewatched Force Awakens today, and I was thinking, when we first see Rey, it's after Simon Pegg's character. Go chase her down.
60
take the droid.
60 portions.
60 portions. Go take the droid back. 6 a bunch of guys on her, and Ven sees, and he's running to help, and she just takes care of the guys.
Right.
Like she defends herself.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time he gets there, he's like, oh, okay, all right. And I think it's trying to prove a point that yes, she might be raw, and I think Kylo Ren says as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
She might be raw, but she can fight. She knows how to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets a little more experience throughout the rest of the movie.
But okay, I'm a personal trainer, right? I train people. I've worked with elite athletes. Okay, I've trained combat athletes before. And I don't care how much raw talent somebody has. Okay, I'll take an athlete that's not as talented but is willing to work over an athlete that is super talented but not willing to work. Now, I feel like that is kind of what has happened with her character. She doesn't have any training at all. I mean, yes, she trains a little bit with the lightsaber. She practices some form, but nobody taught her any form. She just kind of swings it around. Where did she learn that? That kind of stuff takes time to learn. And suddenly she's really proficient at it and really good with it. Now, Kylo's obviously had some sort of saber training. And,
some training, but never finished.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if it's saber training or whatever, but...
Also, he fights broadsword style.
Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know.
He's not Shadai.
This part
Katana.
Just, I don't know. It's bothered me from the minute she called the lightsaber to herself. I thought, well, how'd she learn how to do that? Okay, well, she's just super powerful, super force sensitive. She has no experience whatsoever other than that. Other than she needed the lightsaber at the time, so it came to her because she's strong with the force. Like, I would think that takes some kind of technique and some kind of practice. You know what I mean? I mean, even Luke, who is one of the most powerful Jedi ever, struggled with it for a long time, right? I mean, and all his training basically consisted, in episode 4, of fighting a drone on the deck of the Millennium Falcon. And then we don't really see him start to use his lightsaber until he goes and trains with Yoda. And he trains with Yoda for an unspecified amount of time. Which is, I don't expect a Rocky movie, training sequence. But, anyway. That's just something that bothers me a little bit. I mean, yes, you might have...
There was a nod to Empire that I liked.
What was that?
That as you look off of Octo... Anyway, the island where Luke is at, into the water below, you see his X-Wing in the water. And, you're kind of like, oh yeah, he's totally going to take that out, isn't he? He's going to pull that out.
Which he did.
Later, you do see Yoda. Yoda shows up, right? And then later he shows up on another island, and you're sitting there or another planet. Yeah. You're sitting there thinking like, oh, he totally took it out.
He must have took the X-Wing
But it's fresh that we didn't see it.
Yeah.
Right? Except he didn't actually do that.
He just astral projected himself across time and space to be a hologram.
Yeah, astral project that.
Astral project?
Project. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. And that's
I was wondering why he wasn't touching him with the lightsaber. And also wondered why he had the old blue lightsaber, which he shouldn't have had. Mm-hmm. He would either have the green one, but the old blue one was broken. Unless he constructed another one. So that one felt...
In his mind palace.
Yeah, that one felt off to me from the beginning.
But it makes sense now. It's like, oh, he didn't just make up a new lightsaber in his head.
Yeah.
Though
and I'd like to know the...
He totally could have gone purple.
Yeah. I'd like to know the significance of the dice. There's like a fuzzy dice kind of thing.
That must have been Han.
Yeah, I know it's a Han thing, but I don't know. It feels like something we missed.
Is that a nod to George Lucas?
I don't know. I'm sure someone out there knows. Like, comment and tell us, because I don't know. And I don't want to have to look it up. I mean, I'll look it up in the comments later.
You're lazy.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm not going to get my phone out again. But that bothers me. Right. Now, yes, she's obviously on the island training and swinging the stick around every now and then. But she has one meditation session with Luke. You know,
freaks him out.
I train
because he's like, "Whoa, you went dark really fast," and she doesn't apologize for it.
Yeah, I mean, at one point she falls into this hole, right? The dark hole that in Luke's little misty place that he goes to in the forest. She has a hole that she can fall down to, and Jacob made the comment she wouldn't know how to swim.
Yeah, I mean, they specifically show rain, and she's just like, "This is cool."
Yeah.
Right? Desert planet, no rain.
Yeah. So she falls into a water hole,
and she struggles a bit, and she gets out. She gets out.
But I mean, obviously, she wouldn't know how to swim. That's a really good point. She wouldn't know how to swim. How does she know how to call a lightsaber to her? I don't know. How does she know how to, best a swordsman, a trained swordsman? I don't know. It just accept it. It's space.
I mean, just like, the stormtrooper who's been trained with a blaster can also fight rather proficiently with all sorts of weapons.
Right. Which,
Poe's like, yeah, same principle.
Yeah.
It's same principle. Blaster, being a gunner in a ship, same thing.
Yeah.
It is not the same thing.
But it just... he has skills that should translate over, and they do. It makes sense for him to be an effective combatant.
I'm up.
Right?
I'm up well.
It makes sense for him to be an effective combatant. He was trained for combat. He's good with a blaster, but not just a blaster. He is proficient with other weapons as well.
Leia gets to use a blaster again.
Yeah. So that's just... Poe makes sense for him to be an effective combatant. He's a really good pilot, right? That's what we've seen from him.
Man, they, rewatching 7,
Mm-hmm.
they do make a point of showing just how good he is. We get to see him fly a little bit on the escape.
Mm-hmm.
But then just at Maz's whatever planet,
Temple thing.
you get the long shot to where a dude flies like an acrobat, and that is setting up for what he has to do later on Starkiller Base. Because that dude's got to fly like crazy,
right.
And he can.
Yep. And it makes sense. It makes sense for him to be a fantastic pilot. He's trained.
It's crazy. In the middle of the movie, I'm like, did he just pull the handbrake? Because he basically he like goes, it's like, did he just? He did just do that. He pulled the handbrake.
It was pretty awesome. How about that opening sequence? Him taking on the Star Destroyer. I feel like that alienated a lot of people really quickly. Okay, in the opening sequence of the movie, he's trying to get a hold of Hux, right? And as Hux is talking, just giving his death speech, which he looks very drawn and messed up, and you can tell it's probably from the events of the last film, right? He's still not gotten over it because he just looks sickly. But he starts giving this speech about, "We are going to destroy your fleet." I can't remember the actor's name.
Donald something or other.
Yeah. Anyway, he's brilliant, right? It's just hilarious. And then Poe goes, "I'm sorry, I'm still holding for..." And these are literally like the first lines in the movie.
These are like Bart Simpson jokes, right? Yeah. it's like
he's crank calling Hux.
He is.
And it's now, brilliant.
He's stalling.
Yeah.
Right? His job is to stall while people escape out the back.
It has
which happens later.
Yeah.
And the one person facing down the impossible army happens again later with Luke.
Right.
As a diversion. There's 3 fallback sequences, right?
But this is okay. As people were leaving the theater, I just heard them say, because this sets a tone for the movie that it's going to be funny, and really the movie was pretty funny.
I heard it was super funny,
but I
was expecting it to be funnier.
I was too,
because we saw Thor Ragnarok just a few weeks ago, and that was a funny movie. This was funny.
It was funny. They had some jokes,
but it wasn't like I wasn't dying.
But the opening sequence, because of that opening sequence, it set a tone for the movie that I thought, this is going to be really funny. And then they made a few jokes,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't make a ton of jokes. And then as people were leaving the theater, I heard them complaining that wasn't a Star Wars movie because Star Wars movies aren't funny.
Oh, no. Did I send you that link the other day for how Star Wars got saved in the edit?
You did.
Okay, that was a super great video that Rocket Jump School did. It's a great video, and they talk about the opening sequence, that they rearranged so much in the original Star Wars, made it so much better in the editing room, because it was amateurish. Like the order didn't make a lot of sense. Anyway, but one of the things that was early on was the shot of C-3PO is like, oh, I'm tangled up in all these cables, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like they used that later on the Millennium Falcon, but it was originally shot to take place right after Darth Vader boards the ship at the very beginning. Like, that's where that shot's supposed to be.
Huh.
It was supposed to be a joke immediately, right after the super serious thing. But they moved it, and they were able to build suspense, and it made a lot more sense. Here, they kind of follow one of those original ideas. It's like, we're going to have a joke right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And this really serious moment.
But that set a tone that said to me that this movie's going to be really funny, and I didn't really find it all that funny. Not because I didn't get the jokes. Because I think I got all the jokes.
I expected it to be funnier, but it didn't need to be funnier.
Yeah.
I just expected it because
it set a very strange tone for the film, and I think it might have alienated some people. I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, especially rewatching 7. Like, Finn is hilarious.
Yeah, no,
Finn is funny.
That's part of his character. He's
Finn
supposed
is
to be
funny.
there, and because we don't have the slapstick comedy that we used to get from the droids or from Jar Jar Binks or from.
Don't say his name.
I'm sorry. We don't have that in these newer movies because we don't focus as much on the droids. We do have a lot of stuff from BB-8, but they just do a really great job of personifying him and making him a character that you care about.
He shoots at all those coins, right? And he goes,
yeah.
It's like, that was good.
And that there you go. And that's a good example of the slapstick comedy, I guess. But they just normally they would use C-3PO for that kind of stuff, or or Jar Jar Binks or Anakin. But in this case, we have Poe and his relationship with the droid, and this is the way
he like goes up and he's like trying to tickle him at one point.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my boy. He's like,
my buddy.
It's a metal ball.
It's a ball,
it's
bro.
It's not giving him. Yeah.
But
okay, yeah. Can I shift gears a bit?
Shift gears.
One of the things I absolutely loved throughout the whole thing is thank you. the way the ships maneuvered in this were like ships.
Yeah.
You've never felt it feel like, oh no, these are boats in space. The first Star Wars movie to really feel like boats in space.
Yeah, it felt very nautical.
Especially, yeah. So at the very beginning, I mean, what they call it, a dreadnought? Like, that told you right off the bat, is like, oh no, this is...
Yeah.
This, and the way they had the guns on the outside, and they're talking about the guns, it's like from the beginning it felt like, oh no, these are like big boats.
Yeah.
These are big boats. They take out a really big boat. And then later, especially when the resistance is trying to get away, it was
they're in
boats
rafts.
in pursuit.
Yeah, they're
boats
in
in pursuit. And it's like, that one's a little bit faster, but we're still shooting the long guns to try and get it. It felt like a naval battle.
They made tons of references. Well, not tons of references, but they made references to speed. And this is the first time you've ever really seen shields at work. They always say the word shields in Star Wars, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never actually seen them do except for episode 1.
Episode 1, yeah.
And
we still don't think that works so much.
On ships, anyway. We have seen it with battle droids and stuff, but I just don't remember ever seeing it with ships. With the ships, every time it got hit, it was like a direct hit or something like that. So it was interesting. I really enjoyed that aspect of it too, because people tell naval battles, and it just, I don't know. It's hard to make interesting because most of the time it's not. It takes like, if you're telling a naval battle at sea, it takes like an hour for a ship to do that maneuver. You know what I mean? That's in real life, we would spend the entire movie watching them make a maneuver if we were to watch it in real time.
To turn.
Yeah, to do all that kind of stuff. And that's why, pirate movies today just kind of irk me a little bit.
Or they have like some big, huge maelstrom happening, which, that'll spin the boat faster.
Yeah, no.
You're right. I get you.
But, and this, it was fun. It felt a lot like, it felt Star Trek-y in a way. And there was a lot of Battlestar Galactica in there.
Oh, the running away.
Yeah, the running away. I mean, Battlestar. I like Battlestar Galactica. I'm not the hugest fan, but I'm sure some people out there probably look at that and go, "Hey, that's Battlestar Galactica. What they're doing there," which I thought was interesting, and that just makes me think, "Oh, he must be a fan." And I'm talking about the new series. But yeah, that was really cool. I enjoyed that aspect of it as well.
Okay, one of the things I'd heard that there's like, oh, this is a caper movie, Rian Johnson's done that before, they gotta go steal the thing. It's like, there's a little bit of it. I didn't feel like it was a caper. They're trying to sneak Rose and Finn onto the lead Star Destroyer.
The Dreadnought? Or not the Dreadnought. The Star Destroyer, yeah.
The lead Star Destroyer, and they have to go get a guy who can help. And that felt weird, but I can see why they're doing that. Is because the real whole point of the movie, I guess, is like the resistance basically has to die out, burn down to a cinder, a little spark, that's going to start a new rebellion. Now, I have to admit, like, the language sounded a lot like Hunger Games.
Oh yeah, it did.
Sounded a lot like that.
I didn't register with me.
Because that's how they referred to Mockingjay.
Yeah.
Right? She was the spark.
3%.
Yeah, but they had to burn it down. This whole idea of like burning things down, it seems to be working for us.
It was an overriding theme throughout the entire film.
But like they had to get to that planet to set up this like little bit at the end, this payoff. It felt weird. But it definitely, like, they're introducing this disparity between the rich and the poor, which I guess it makes sense as a common theme for resistance and rebellions, and that
possibly
you really haven't felt
a take on
in previous
modern
Star Wars
society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was political, but also it's something that we really haven't seen. Except for the fact that the Empire is evil, and the First Order is evil. People don't have a reason to fight against them, right? But you take something that people understand, you take these Marxist ideas, power versus no power.
Right.
And it's like, oh, yeah, I get it. The stable boy rising up to fight the master.
Which is what the movie leaves us with.
Stable boy.
Yeah, the stable boy. Now, okay. Now I realize that having said that, the stable boy and everything, personally, I feel like the movie still could have worked without all of that. Now that was the cinder that's going to light the spark. I get that. It's very important for the franchise to continue into the next film because that's where they're going to get more resistance. But at the same time, I feel like that whole entire sequence of the heist and them going to that planet,
it did feel weird.
It could have been left out of the movie fairly easily, I think. I think they could have done it on the cutting floor and it would still make a smidgen of sense. They'd have to change a few things. But
what would you have done instead to accomplish the same thing, right? Because you've got the naval battle, right? The space naval battle where they're slowly getting away, and we don't know. The plan is to try and escape as we pass by this deserted rebel base, right? Like, that's the plan that we don't know, and we have this whole bit, which I think we need to dig into. Oh, I met my move goal.
Daggone.
It's all this hand gesturing.
All the hand gesturing.
Nice. Having an active day has definitely paid off. 450 calories.
That's like 4 slices of pizza. No, it's 2 slices of pizza.
I didn't have any pizza today.
Lucky. I had a lot of pizza today.
Lucky?
Jealous, I know.
I'm jealous. I was making a point. I don't know what it was.
Running away from the naval battle to how
Right,
would we,
right.
How would we
So that-
accomplish the same thing?
That wasn't moving the plot forward.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the Jedi plot.
Uh-huh.
You know, this like connected mind meld thing that's going on between Rey. We gotta dig into that. Between Rey and Kylo Ren, which is apparently like mediated by Snoke. You know, and then Luke basically taps in the same concept later.
Mm-hmm.
That they've got basically 3 plot lines, right?
Right.
And
It's a really plot heavy movie.
we feel like 2 makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The third one felt weird.
Yeah. I don't want to say.
But I'm gonna make
your point.
I'm gonna say something. Okay, the Jedi thing, like their plot lines are all lining up together, right?
Uh-huh.
You've got the leaders of this group and leaders of this group. They're basically fighting together, shooting cannons at each other, and then you have the little guys.
Mm-hmm. That
They run off to go start the rebellion
Mhm.
with other little guys.
Yeah, no, they're
That idea
they're-
works.
That idea does work, and you know what? That leads me into my next point. My next point was,
I'm out of mind.
like, was it necessary?
I'll finish my Dr. Pepper.
But no,
I don't have a drinking problem. I can stop whenever I want to.
But no,
No, I just don't want to.
you make a really good point there.
Oh, sorry. You're saying I made a good point.
No, you made
I'll let you say that.
You made a fantastic point.
Thank you.
I didn't think of it that way. But yeah, this is.
See, but here's the thing.
They're
I
telling.
have a master's degree in English. You're supposed to think like the whole world in terms of Marxism.
What they're telling is they're telling the soldier's story there. That's what that whole plot line is, right? We've got our lead characters, right? And then everything that's going on there, they're splitting into light and dark. And then we've got, our good guy story, our bad guy story. We've got our 3 different plot lines. And then this brings into concept these are the soldiers' stories. They need to have a voice too. This is their voice. So it's interesting. That's really interesting.
I didn't mean to be so profound.
Well, you're more profound than you think, my friend.
Dang, hasn't hit me yet. Keep talking, I'll feel better. I mean, but it's true. He's the deserter,
Yeah.
right? He becomes soldier for the opposite side. Still a little bit clumsy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rose, she was never really trained.
Mm-hmm.
She's just the mechanic, the whatever
Yeah.
guy, who gets to step up, and it's
go-
the little guy.
Yep. They go on their adventure together, and they, not Luke, not Leia, not, they are the spark. They're the ones that inspire the next generation of soldiers through their acts of rising up and beating the man.
That also, like, it feels reminiscent of Rogue One.
Yeah. Yeah. Rogue One, they weren't important people.
And they all died in the end.
And they all died in the end. Spoiler! Go see Rogue One.
It was good. I liked it.
But, alright, let's get into that Snoke thing in there.
We should dig into that storyline, yeah.
Really, okay, most of what's happening on the island is Rey is trying to get Luke to train her, and he's totally ignoring her, right? He's just kind of... She's doing the monk thing where she shows up on the monk's door and waits outside for days and days, and he eventually starts to...
Yes! Yes!
That's the storyline that they're going for there. But
Mr. Johnson.
at the same time, she starts this dialogue. She and Kylo Ren start this dialogue, and it's really one of the more impressive, acting between 2 characters in the film, I think, that they have, right? So they have like this, they're crossing time and space somehow to be able to communicate with each other, and we have no idea why. Neither one of them is doing it, or at least so they say. And then it turns out that it was Snoke that was manipulating it so that he could manipulate the 2 of them. Which was cool. Master Manipulator bad guy is a cool kind of a bad guy,
Yeah, and we get to see him in action, that he is
Yeah.
quite effective. I love when Rey tries to to grab the lightsaber again. Flies around the whole room, hits her on the back
Hits
of
her
the
in the
head,
head.
and then he gets it again. He's like, child, please sit down. No, wait, stay. I'm gonna just hold you up. You just stay there.
But this
Children, please.
This connection between them is really what moves the plot along. You know,
Yeah.
it's really what makes the two of them, because they have this connection, which Snoke doesn't foresee, and then he ends up making the perfect prediction of him igniting the lightsaber and killing his enemy, which is, he wasn't wrong. His prediction wasn't wrong.
And it also felt very reminiscent to what happened
To
with
Vader
Han Solo.
turning. Yeah.
Well, no, but like the Han Solo scene in 7, that you're like, will he,
Oh.
won't he, will he, won't he?
Yeah.
What is Kylo Ren gonna do with the lightsaber?
Uh-huh.
And it's a little bit of a
It was interesting.
look here while I do this.
Yeah. Magic. That's what magic is. Misdirection.
Yeah.
Look up here while I move the quarter down here.
Yeah. Like, look here, I've got a lightsaber. Well, I'm moving it slowly. Oh, you're narrating this. That's good. Good job, bad guy. Bad guys narrate bad things.
He caught him monologuing.
You caught me monologuing.
Which was a little cliche, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, but I'm going to turn this, and zoom. So, I don't know, I want to derail again. What are new force powers that we saw in this movie? Igniting a lightsaber without holding it.
Oh, we've seen that before.
Have we?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it like it's flying in the air,
Mm-hmm.
but have we seen like, it's over there, I'm going to turn that on?
I don't know if we have.
I mean, it's not too different than pushing a button, I guess.
It's not weird.
But it's like, it's new, Like in 7 we see, I'm just going to catch a lightning bolt in midair.
Yeah. That was new.
That was new. But here we get to see that. We get to see the whole astral projection.
Yeah, that's a new... I mean, this is one that's been touched upon hundreds of times in books and comic books. And that's something that I really enjoyed, because I've always wanted to see more of that in the movies. You know what I mean? I feel like, yes, being a Jedi is cool because you have faster reflexes and you can jump really high and you have greater strength than everybody else because you train with the Force. But on the same token, the fact that they can reach in and cloud people's minds and read people's thoughts and have the ability to manipulate other people through their thoughts, that's probably the coolest aspect of them. I mean, yes, it's cool to watch lightsaber battles and stuff, but this is also very, very interesting. And seeing this in this film made me really happy.
And it was incredibly effective.
Yeah. At moving the story along, arguably, it was the only thing moving the story along.
And they basically set it up because, that's kind of what was happening. That Snoke was making possible to mind meld between Rey and Kylo Ren. And then, Luke just took it further. Camera ran out of battery. New battery. We're good.
We're good.
New battery. Who dis?
Who dat?
Not funny. Wasn't funny.
Is it because I'm late?
That's not... What?
Anyway, so, we're talking about the mind meld thing.
Yeah, we're talking about the mind meld thing. How Luke takes it to the next level.
Luke takes it to the next level, yeah.
And that was really effective, and it works really well because he was able to distract Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren's fighting an astral projection, and it makes sense. He's like, everybody shoot there.
Yeah.
And it's it's incredibly effective because Luke just kind of stands up afterwards and he's like, what did he do? He goes, it's like, oh.
Okay, here's the thing though. I guessed what was going on.
Did you?
That was one of my guesses, right? It wasn't. I thought, okay, well, either he's repelling these with the Force, which would be cool,
and incredibly powerful.
Yeah, or he's some kind of extra projection. And I thought that he was still.
I wondered if there's some sort of
I thought that maybe
hologram.
He was still in the cave with like Leia and them. I thought that that's what he was doing, maybe, but he wasn't even on the same planet. And ultimately, this is what ends up killing Luke. So
he forced himself out.
He forced himself out, yo. Which I wanted to see more out of him in the next movies, and I'm sure we will see more of him. But I wanted to see.
Well, he promises, right?
Yeah, no.
He says, "I'm gonna haunt you. I'm gonna haunt you."
No, I know he will be in the next film, as a Force ghost, which I'm a little bummed about. I'm okay that he died. Okay. I'm okay with that. I just wanted to see more out of him. I wanted to see him train Rey, like legitimately train her, instead of just give her the 3 lessons and teach her how to meditate, you know. But the thing with the grass was just great. Oh, the Force is really strong with you.
He's like, oh no, you just. Oh, I'm going there. You dumb.
You feel that? And the funny thing is, okay, and tell me what you think of this. Mark Hamill actually has an extremely, even at his advanced age, has a bit of an effeminate voice, right? His natural voice tone is kind of effeminate. And so, but what he's doing in this film is he's playing the Joker, but not cackling, without the cackles. Oh. You know what I mean? No, he's not full-blown Joker, right?
Nobody.
But, you know, all he's doing, he's using the same, he's not using the up and down intonations, and he's not cackling, but he has that deep, you know, oh,
this is not going to end. It's not going to go the way
the Jedi need to end. That's what the Joker would say.
The Jedi.
And I really liked it. I just thought it was great. But, I don't know. What was your take on Luke's death?
I think it's a bit of fan service, right? I do think you're right. That, man, the more I think about it, there's a lot of Empire in this.
Yeah.
You know, there's the training. They literally brought back Yoda.
Yeah, they brought back Yoda.
I mean, because they Frank Oz was on the carpet. They never explained why he's there. Oh, it's because he was in the movie.
But
and this was puppet Yoda.
Yeah.
This was not,
I mean,
you know, CG Yoda.
And
at first he looks kind of funny.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's puppet Yoda.
He had some CG touch up, but he was puppet Yoda.
Well, everything is CG touch up. I'm just
accept that. But
color grading everything. I mean, that's CG. But you know, there's that. There's the training. There's the ship in the water. Yeah, there's so many points. You know, she literally faces herself, and the little darkness hole that she goes through. There's a lot of things, but it's fresh. It's a fresh version, and I think Luke disappearing brings back things. It's fan service, and you know, it also says, hey, we might see some. I mean, we might see him again. We might see Yoda again. We might see lots of Force.
Well, we're not
people who disappeared.
Maybe
no, there's now 3. There's 3 who've disappeared, right?
Vader's gone. Obi-Wan's gone.
Yeah, he faded away.
That have actually faded away. The only fadeaways we have are Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Luke.
Yeah.
Are those the only 3? Yeah. Yeah, those are the only 3.
Now, we did see the Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn, right?
Yes. No, we didn't. We did?
In the whatever special edition or something.
Oh.
They did it.
Yeah, sort of.
They did that.
But yeah, they talk about Qui-Gon being a Force ghost. You know, they mention that in the 3rd film. And Qui-Gon essentially comes back and teaches Obi-Wan how to do it. So that's his final training that he gets from Qui-Gon.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sure we could still talk some more.
But
now we probably need to talk about what comes next.
What does come next? No idea now. Now that Rey's parents aren't Han and Leia, I'm so happy about that. I'm so happy. You know, they might kick me in the butt and go, nope, just kidding.
and I don't know. I mean,
You're space trash.
Okay, all right. I think it makes more sense to stick with this, for that to really be it, because people are going to spend 2 years wondering, are you messing with me? Are you messing with me?
Yeah.
And the simplest answer is going to be true.
No.
No, we're not messing with you.
See, and I felt like that was the simplest answer before.
So Daisy Ridley,
that she's nobody.
she left the theater, like people left and she's like, I can't believe people didn't figure it out. It's like, no, she's just no one.
That her parents are no one? Yeah. I don't know. I so happy.
Now, this...
I feel stupid that's my biggest payoff, but...
With every movie, though, this idea of there was awakening,
Uh-huh.
I don't feel like they paid off the idea. Though, what awoke in The Force Awakens, Finn wakes up from being a stormtrooper, basically, right?
Rey, The Force Awakens in her.
Yes. And that's kind of it, right?
Well, I don't know.
But what we don't know until this movie now
Uh-huh.
is, they kind of reference this awakening
Mhm.
again. We see this little boy who's apparently force sensitive and using it.
Kylo has an awakening as well. He kills his father. He gives himself over.
Yeah,
But then he doesn't.
That
kill him.
storyline,
Yeah.
it feels very, very classical.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm gonna, the apprentice kills the master.
Sure.
The guy who wants power is gonna get rid of everybody. And I wonder if people are still holding out that, like, no, Han killed himself to help his son. It's like, I don't know.
I don't think that's the thing.
I don't know, because now he's pretty consistently taking people out,
Uh-huh.
and maybe he had to convince himself along the way. But this movie, Luke says, yeah, no, he's gone. Leia says, no, he's gone.
Uh-huh.
And maybe they're just like, look over here, he's gone. Oh, he's back. Because, are they going to kill Kylo Ren in Episode 9?
I don't know.
Is he going to turn?
Is he going to find his way back? See, the thing is...
How can you make the return satisfying
Now that
and not feel cheap?
Yeah, now that Snoke is gone, he's our only big baddie. Besides Hux. And Hux is just kind of a crazy guy right now. Is
Hux gonna make a move?
See, yeah, that's a big question. See, I didn't expect this much from that character. You know what I mean? I expected Hux to be, the Peter Cushing, the Peter Cushing character. We saw him in one movie, and then maybe he'd die, and then that would be it. And we'd be left with this character that people would write about for years and years to come because they thought he was so cool.
But he's a stand-in to play off of Kylo Ren.
And now he's become this. Yeah, he's become...
He represents, the traditional order of things.
Right.
And Kylo Ren represents the Force power, whatever.
And he's fanatical. And it's awesome. I think he's great. I want more from him. But now that...
He is definitely fanatical.
Now that Snoke is gone, who's the big bad guy?
That's one of the nice things, that you often see, first movie in a okay. Just randomly pull out a knife and poke yourself. First movie in a new trilogy sequence, whatever, your immediate bad guy seems like a big deal, and you're like, oh no, wait, there's a bigger bad guy, right? It's like, oh, this is how we expand, and then they kill the big bad guy, and now it's back to the first guy, and so you're like, oh wow, what's gonna happen there? And so I love Sacred Cow, boom, gone, that cow dead.
Yeah. See, the general consensus is that the ultimate bad guy in any movie ever has been Darth Vader. Right? Mm-hmm. So Kylo's our new Darth Vader.
And they call him that.
Yeah. But Darth Vader, I don't think would be as good a bad guy without someone behind him pulling the strings, pulling the puppet strings.
Without Palpatine.
So where are they going to go with that? I don't know. It can't be Hux because Hux can't be pulling the strings behind him. So is there a character we haven't met yet?
I could see Hux trying to pull a fast one on Kylo Ren.
Uh-huh.
Like, there could be infighting there for sure.
Uh-huh. So, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting story. The nice thing about this movie, and this is probably my favorite part about this movie, is that now We have no freaking clue what's going to happen next.
Isn't that great?
That is great.
I mean, what can we make a very safe assumption? Okay, sorry, we never dug into Poe.
Oh, let's dig into
And I
Poe.
think that'll help us work towards the future.
Yeah, that'll work towards the future.
So, Poe's character in this movie had to learn to become a leader.
Right.
Why?
And he makes mistakes.
Because he has to lead in the next one.
Yeah. But
see, that's why we have a probably pretty good idea, right?
Yeah.
Poe is just like super talented, had like no character growth in the first movie, right? He's just super talented. Great. In this one, we see a super huge mistake at the very beginning.
Right.
And he keeps fighting against authority. He gets in trouble, and they're like, "Child, please sit down. We like you. You got spunk. Kid. You're great. You're great. Now sit down and let the adults handle this."
You got the right stuff.
And he pulls a mutiny. He pulls a mutiny. C-3PO's like, "I'm not programmed for this." You know, he gets shot down, and oh man, it was like a feminist nightmare there for a little while.
When Leia comes in and blasts him, that was great.
And she's like, "Dude, child, sit down.
Sit down.
Please, stay in your lane."
Sit down. Shut up.
He's like, love ya, I really do. Down. Now, why couldn't Laura Dern's character just tell him the plan? I don't know.
I think they were going for like a feminist kind of thing there because that's hip right now.
Well, I mean, it's important.
Yeah.
It's important to show that, and it's as white privileged male people, it's hard for us to understand. I recognize that.
No, we're under the poverty mark, right?
Well, we may not be privileged in that way, but I mean, they were saying all these things about her power and femininity as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Laura Dern saying this, and it's like, and he throws a mutiny because he doesn't like her. And I was like, oh, this can't be. Oh no, she is smart. And then she does this great thing. It's like, okay,
but it's not.
There was a payoff for her character.
But at the same time, the whole problem could have been very easily solved by her just explaining to him what the plan was. You know what I mean?
Yes, and you kind of don't like that in a movie, because it's how it really should have ended, kind of thing. It's like you could have solved your own problem.
I mean, if you want to go into how it should have ended, you have all those freighters they're medical freighters that are falling behind. You could have turned one of those around and sent it to Lightspeed through it, and just had one person sacrifice himself, and it would have ended the conflict a long time ago and saved a lot of lives.
But they didn't. I mean, I don't know that the idea occurred to them prior to that.
It did to me. I mean, that'd have been my first thing. Hey, why don't we turn this freighter around and go to Lightspeed right through the hull? Good idea. I don't know. That's what occurred to me, right off the bat. Of course, that'll show up on how it should have ended. You're welcome. How it should have ended. I want credit for it there in the bottom.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh man.
Because that would have been really, really simple.
Okay. Let's talk about Benicio del Toro's character.
Yes.
He's not done.
No.
He's not done. He is an archetype like Han Solo.
Yes.
That he's for hire.
Well, I said that.
He's going to be on anybody's side.
Yeah. I mean, I said that
He's not
before.
done.
He's the other side of the coin of Billy D. We've got Billy D, the smooth talking.
You're so
smuggler.
right. Who betrays?
Yeah. For money, right? His BFF. Now we've got this guy who is a stuttering, talented, almost seemingly blubbering idiot that gets them through all this stuff. And it's just, they're just flipping the coin on it. But is he done? No. I think he's going to come back. They're going to end up friends. Number one, because Benicio del Toro is an extremely strong actor. You know what I mean?
And that wasn't a very big role.
No. And it feels like a waste to put him in 25 minutes of a movie, not develop his character at all, and then send him packing.
But I can definitely see him coming back.
Yeah.
Because it's convenient for him.
Yeah.
And he says it himself, right?
Uh-huh.
He's like, you're gonna blow up you today, you're gonna blow up. The right mentality for the person who plays the middle, for both sides of an arms dealer conflict. And he's the one pointing out, whose ship did we steal? Yeah. Oh, they're serving both sides. No one is really clean in this.
Yeah.
He gets it, he sees it, and so he doesn't mind playing the game Because
Arguably,
everyone's playing the game.
Arguably, he might be the overriding theme, right? The whole theme of the movie is that the Jedi need to end, and that, you know, that's this idea that Luke has, that you need to play both sides of the coin kind of thing. But then in the end, they're kind of like, no, we're bringing back the Jedi. And I thought that was kind of weird, because it felt, that felt like a throw-in to me at the end. Because Luke says, I'm not going to be the last Jedi. And then, you know, it will come back or whatever. I'm not sure exactly how he worded it. But the whole time he's going on about how the Jedi should end. He's not going to train her and all this stuff. And, you know, they were blinded by this and blinded by that. And she's kind of arguing against him the entire time.
She's got the books.
Yeah.
She has a little bit of training. Definitely has the skill.
You know.
And she's on the... Like, the entire Resistance is on the Millennium Falcon at the end.
Yeah. Which is not a lot of people.
It's the most we've ever seen it carry.
Yeah.
As a freighter.
As a freighter. As a small YT class freighter.
Yeah.
But man, they hate that shit.
Man, they hate that shit. I love that. It's like, you can't. It's like Indiana Jones hat. It's, no. Okay,
that was really special though. So, but I mean, arguably, he is the overriding theme of the film, which they kind of throw it out a little bit at the end when they say, "I'm not going to be the last Jedi," which I thought was weird. I really didn't expect him to do that. That was one of those things that caught
Well, we
me
were
off
kind
guard.
of thinking that, you know, Kylo Ren is setting up for, like, we're going to have a new version of everything.
Yeah.
You know, you call it First Order, call it Empire,
Yeah.
call it Sith, call it whatever you want. This is a new thing.
Yeah.
We're going to have a new order. You can call it Jedi, whatever. We still don't know who the other Knights of Ren are.
No, we don't. Are they alive? Are they dead?
But we did get a number.
Did they just kill them?
We
Were
did.
they the Red Guards?
We did get a couple of numbers, right?
Uh-huh.
Luke says Ben and a dozen other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, I think he said something like Ben took, like, you know, half a dozen or, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So basically we know that there were 6 and the other kid, you know, probably died, right? So this much we got a couple of numbers.
Yeah.
And maybe the Nazgul, I mean the Knights of Ren.
The Knights of Ren. Burn.
See what there? See what there? We need that payoff to come and
Yeah.
that payoff has to come. And if he's the boss, he's like, all right, boys, y'all come back now, you horsemen of the apocalypse,
Yeah.
you whatever you are.
Well,
come on
no,
back.
I did have a good.
We in charge now.
I did have a good.
He needs a castle.
I did have a good conversation about this
Mustafar.
today, actually, with a friend of mine. You know, we were talking about the Knights of Ren, and we do get a brief glimpse of them, and they do not look like Jedis. A couple of them have guns. One of them carries a big staff, and you know, I had to freeze frame the movie to see this, but one of them's got a sniper rifle. You know, another one has got some kind of a big rocket launcher. And the only one that's wielding a lightsaber is Kylo Ren. Another one has what looks like a bat, like a baseball bat. Now, it's obviously one of those electrified ones.
Like Walking Dead.
But, you know, looking
Or
at
Harley Quinn.
Looking at the Knights of Ren, they don't look like they've been trained as sabermen. Sabermen? Lightsaber wielding laser sword?
You like that? George Lucas would refer to lightsabers as laser swords.
Yeah.
And so Mark Hamill gets to throw that out.
You think I'm going to
Laser
pick up a
sword.
laser sword and...
Yes. Yes, I do. Nice. Oh, man. So, okay. Let's
Sorry,
talk
I
about one of
derailed
the bigger mysteries we know people are going to talk about for the next 2 years, which
Okay.
is how are they going to handle Leia?
Oh, being not with us anymore.
Because Leia is alive
Uh-huh.
at the end of episode 8. They didn't decide to kill her off. She's
Mhm.
alive. Well, they killed her and then they brought her back. We got to see her use the Force.
Which was, okay, now this is really interesting to me, because they could have very easily ended her character there. And you know what? It would have made sense. It wouldn't have been weird to lose Leia at that point. Why? Because, I mean, even throughout this movie, the only thing she really comes back and does is stop Poe. That's really the only thing that she does. What purpose does her character serve now other than as a leader of the Resistance? You know what I mean? She could have very easily...
Luke gets to say goodbye.
Yeah. She could have very easily died right there, and that would have been fine, right? But now we're taking her in, and we know from, fairly reputable sources that they've pretty much saved her performance for the 9th film. So what are they going to do with her? How much are they going to work with it? What's going to happen? Is she going to be killed? I don't know. I have no idea.
Her daughter played a much bigger role in this movie.
Yeah.
She was part of the mutiny.
Yeah, and he had to point that out to me. I didn't know who that was, but she did.
Billy Lord.
She does pretty good. You know what I mean?
Well, but the thing, like, you may not hear her name a lot.
Uh-huh.
She's a professional actress.
Yeah.
She's not just Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Yeah.
Like, she was on American Horror Story one of the seasons.
Was she?
So, like, she's acting.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she wasn't able to do something because she was filming. What was it? There was some sort of event. Maybe it was D23. Like, she couldn't go because she was busy shooting a TV show.
Huh. She's really good.
I mean, she's fine.
I mean, not that she had to carry anything, but I was invested in her character. I noticed her every time.
They got to develop her character more.
Mostly because she reminded me so much of young Leia, which
which
obviously makes sense now, But at the same time, looking at her going, she's important, or she should be more important. So she did catch my eye, even as a glorified extra in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Jacob had to tell me who she was. And I went, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah, it's Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Carrie Fisher's daughter. She was good. I want to see her character developed a little bit more. Laura Dern was a strange choice, I thought. They killed Admiral Akbar. I wasn't even sure it was him.
Yeah, we didn't know it was him.
Yeah.
Until they dropped his name and we're like, oh, no! He's not just another fish person.
Yeah.
That really was him.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Huh.
So I was a little sad when he died, but, I just always thought he was really cool.
It's a trap!
Just the way he breathes. He's just a cool character. But what else? What the future? What is he going to do? Poe is going to be a leader.
Okay, yes, Poe has to be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Poe is probably going to become the leader.
The general.
Like, Leia's going to pass the reins to him.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be the boss, right? And so her purpose in this movie was to help him transition.
Absolutely.
Probably.
Yeah, no, I think you're not wrong. Leia, what is she going to do?
Leia's going to slowly move to the background.
Right. Which she is doing in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like that's what she's doing. Now, I don't know if that's because of lack of stuff they had to do with her, or if it's because that's what was supposed to happen. But yeah, she's slowly fading into the background. Luke is going to
literally faded out.
Yeah, Luke is going to continue Rey's training as a Force ghost. She has the Journal of the Wills.
She does. She stole the books before
he burned down the temple.
For Yoda lit it up. So she is going to bring back, maybe not necessarily the Jedi Order, but she is going to bring back some kind of order. It makes it sound like they're going to bring back the Jedi Order. Which was, again, a shocker to me. I didn't think that. I thought we were going to go all gray Jedi on this one. Oh, man, I thought they were going gray. I thought they were going to gray. And maybe she might use another name.
Yeah. Maybe
because she's going to the original text.
Yeah.
She might go to those old names like the Wills.
And... I don't know. I don't know if they'll bend. The Jedi is such a
You get to see the Kyber crystal inside her lightsaber.
Oh, does she have the Kyber crystal?
Well, at the end, she's holding it. The broken pieces.
Yeah.
You can see the crystal.
Oh, that's right. You can't you?
Yeah.
So she's gonna bring that back as soon as she finishes her training, which she'll probably be more of just a destructive force of a character in the next one. That's what I'm anticipating her as.
So the next one's gonna be Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, the next one's gonna be Return of the Jedi.
She's finished her training, her transformation.
Yeah, she's just gonna be a Banff. Kylo Ren is gonna.
Bam. That's what Elon Musk called. Well, no, it was called. It was something close to that, but it was talking about a rocket. No. Banff. Banff is what they called the new truck. That was like the code name for his new electric truck.
Yeah.
And he just put it up there. It just said Banff. It's like Icona is Banff, and everyone laughs because.
Yeah. So, Kylo, man, I don't know. I see him building up the First Order, continuing to build that with Hux as a more.
There's going to be conflicts between them.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see the rest of the Knights of Ren. Mm-hmm. And I think they got to literally...
Wait, we got to see the rest of the Knights of Ren?
No, we need to.
Oh, we need to. Yes.
I think, I got to say this, they're going to go medieval on us. Because they've been building up to it the whole time, right?
They have.
It's like, oh, we're going back to these old druid people. Literally, we're in Ireland, right? We're going to Ireland, going back to this very druidic whatever... You know, the Jedi Order is now these old druids, these wizards.
Yeah.
We're going back. He's fighting with a broadsword.
Yep.
We've got knights. That's why I said he needs a castle.
He does need a castle.
He needs a castle.
Darth Vader has a castle. I want to see a Darth Vader movie. Sorry, off topic, but I really want one. I want a Darth Vader movie of him hunting down the rest of the Jedi throughout the galaxy. Disney, make it happen. He and I will write it for you.
It'd be great.
It'd be great. Okay.
We'll use the comics.
Back on topic.
Marvel. It could be a Marvel movie.
It could be. It's a Dark Horse. No, it's a Marvel.
No, it's all Marvel now.
It's all
Marvel now.
It'd be good, though.
Okay, so there's that.
Who else?
We can't have a big planet blow up again, but he can go to a castle.
I could see them destroying another super weapon.